Very wishes Asunya Vadi Pastata, this Omagana Timurandasya, Yanandana Salafaya, Takshulumit. Sri Gurave Namaha, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhistam, Stabitam Jena Bhutale, Sayam Rupa Kadam Maham Buddha Sishwa, Pudantikam, Jai Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara. Srivasari Gaura Bhaktan, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad-gītā cities ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad-gītā cities chapter 12, devotional service, text number 9. Atha cittaṁ samādhātuṁ śaknoṣi mayi sthiram abhyāsa-yogena tato icchāptuṁ dhanañ-jaya. Atha cittaṁ samādhātuṁ śaknoṣi mayi sthiram abhyāsa-yogena tato icchāptuṁ dhanañ-jaya. Atha cittaṁ samādhātuṁ śaknoṣi mayi sthiram abhyāsa-yogena tato icchāptuṁ dhanañ-jaya. Atha, if therefore cittaṁ mind samādhātuṁ to fix, not śaknoṣi you are able, mayi upon me, sthiram steadily, abhyāsa-yogena by the practice of devotional service. Atha, then, me, icha, desire, aptum, to get, dhanañ-jaya, dhanañ-jaya, or winner of wealth, Arjuna. Translation and purport by the Divine Graces of Bhakti Dhira Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti-yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Upward by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, two different processes of Bhakti-yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love. And the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person by transcendental love. For this second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Kṛṣṇa. Bhakti Yoga is a purification of the senses. At the present moment, in material existence, the senses are always impure, being engaged in sense gratification. But by the practice of Bhakti Yoga, these senses can become purified, and in a purified state, they come directly in contact with the Supreme Lord. In this material existence, I may be engaged in some service to some master, but I don't really lovingly serve my master. I simply serve to get some money. And the master also is not in love. He takes service from me and pays me. So there is no question of love. But for spiritual life, one must be elevated to the pure stage of love. That stage of love can be achieved by practice of devotional service, performed with the present senses. This love of God is now in a dormant state in everyone's heart. And there, the love of God is manifested in different ways, but it is contaminated by material association. Now the heart has to be purified with the material association. That dormant natural love for Kṛṣṇa has to be revived. That is the whole process. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. One should rise early in the morning, take baths, enter the temple, and offer flowers in prayers and chant Hare Krishna. Then collect flowers to offer to the deity, cook foodstuffs to offer to the deity, take prasadam, and so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow. And one should constantly hear Bhagavad-gītā and samādhātuṁ from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of God. And then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti Yoga under the rules and regulations with the direction of a spiritual master will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. Okay. Before Kṛṣṇa described what he has given to us in text 9, he has started it from text 8. So he begins from text 8. So Kṛṣṇa is requesting, mayi eva mana adatswa, mayi buddhim deviation, devasisya si mayi eva atha na samsaya. Just fix your mind upon me. This is the request from Kṛṣṇa. To fix our mind upon him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all our intelligence in him. Those who will live in him always, without a doubt. This is the goal, the ultimate goal. That we have to fix our mind for Kṛṣṇa. As in Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami, Swami has quoted a statement from Padma Purana that describes constant remembrance of Kṛṣṇa as a goal of all sadhana activities. Smartavya satatam Vishnu Vishmyartavyo na jatuchit. Sarve vidi visedha shu etayo eva kinkara. Kṛṣṇa is the original Lord Vishnu. It should always be remembered and never be forgotten at any time. All the rules and prohibitions mentioned in the Shastras should be the servant of these two principles. To always remember Kṛṣṇa and never forget him at any moment is the ultimate instruction to the Vedas. So here, Kṛṣṇa is requesting, mayi eva mana adarswa. Just fix your mind upon me. You know what? Don't forget to remember me. We should always remember Kṛṣṇa. Always, and never to remember, and never to forget. So it is a long-term goal for every devotee to come to this stage. Long-term goal. To always have our mind fixed on Kṛṣṇa without deviation, at any time, steadily fixed. And engage our intelligence always in him. Engage our intelligence. Engaging our intelligence means what? We have to distinguish what are the things that we need to do to be Kṛṣṇa conscious, and be fixed on that. That is the best way of using our intelligence. We should use our intelligence to engage our mind in such a way that we don't have time to think of anything outside Kṛṣṇa. That is intelligence. And then hearing this from Kṛṣṇa, it will make someone to think, a common person like some of us, to think. But yes, Kṛṣṇa, I want to do this. Gurudev, I want to do this, but how long will it take me to come to this stage? In fact, it is too long, and on the way, there is no guarantee that I will succeed to get there. So what will happen to me? It is too long for me. And this process is not for me. Because it is too long, and everybody knows that there is no guarantee of no accident on the way. So if there is accident, that means I will not succeed to get to the end. That means that the goal is not easily achieved. So it will be difficult for me. Lord Kṛṣṇa, being all knowledgeable person, all knowing personality of God, the supreme knower of everything. He knows this. Therefore, not to discourage us, by looking at the long-term goal, Kṛṣṇa starts to break it down into a short-term goal. Short-term. Short-term. Kṛṣṇa explained that in chapter 9 and chapter 18. Mad mana bhava mad bhakta. Mad bhakta. Mad bhakta. Mad mana. Mad mana. We have to engage the mind always in thinking of Kṛṣṇa. As he's repeating here. Mayi eva mana adarswa. Mana adarswa. The mind should be fixed on him by the use of intelligence. The proper enumerated everything, how to do it, the practical step, how to do it in last paragraph of the purport. We'll go there. But now we are looking at the assignment Kṛṣṇa has given to us. It's a long-term assignment that I proper mentioned right from the beginning of the purport. Proper said, in this verse, two different processes of Bhakti-yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental laws. So for that a devotee, it is easy. It's already there. There's no problem. What about the second part, our own group, that we are not yet on that transcendental loving relationship with Krishna? My proper notion. And the other is for one who has not developed an attachment for the Supreme Person, from the Supreme Person by transcendental. For this second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations one can follow to be ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment to Krishna. So naturally, the mind will react or revolt. The mind may revolt. What happened if I didn't succeed in getting there? In this time, on the process of getting there, what happened? What will happen to me? Therefore, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Merciful Person, started to break it down. And Krishna said it, atha, if therefore fixing the mind upon me always is difficult, samādhātuṁ, atha cittaṁ, samādhātuṁ. If it is difficult, Krishna said, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Why I should not worry? Krishna said, na śaknoṣi, mayi, sthiram. If he cannot fix the mind in that way, if he cannot fix the mind, if we cannot fix the mind in that way, always thinking of Krishna, always fixing. If we cannot do that, always, that there is no time the man is going to deviate. Then Krishna said, abhyāsa-yogena tato icchāptuṁ dhanañ-jaya. Oh, winner of wealth, or conqueror of wealth. If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti-yoga. Regulative principles. Regulative or sadhana bhakti is for those of us who have not reached the level. Sadhana. Sadhana. So there is a spontaneous devotional service, Raga Bhakti. And there is regulated devotional service, sadhana bhakti. Sadhana. Regulated service. So Krishna did not leave us alone. He has given the second option. The second option is to do what? Abhyāsa-yogena tato icchāptuṁ dhanañ-jaya. Practice the regulative principle of devotion, of Bhakti-yoga, regulative principle of Bhakti-yoga. And we can step by step make advancement in our Kṛṣṇa consciousness. That is explained here by Srila. Of course, the Srila Prabhupada established that Krishna is requesting us to do this because this is our original constitutional nature position. It's natural. This is our natural constitutional position. To love God with the whole of our heart, with the whole of our mind, with the whole of our intelligence, our existence, our life. Our life is meant for that. So Krishna requested for that. It's not out of place. Krishna requested for it because it is what we should do It is not out of place. We should do this because it is natural. It is natural for us to love God in this way. I'm coming, I'm just trying to adjust something. Hare Krishna. All right. So it is not out of place that Kṛṣṇa is requesting us to love him fully. The Prophet said, this love of God is now in a dormant state in everyone's heart. So love Kṛṣṇa it is natural, not artificial. It is natural in the heart, natural. But due to our association with material energy, it is covered. And Kṛṣṇa wants us to revive that. And the principle to do that is what he recommended, the regulative principles of Bhakti-yoga. So Srila Prabhupada put it here. To practice the regulative principles of Bhakti-yoga, one should, under the guidance of an expert spiritual master, follow certain principles. What are the principles? One should rise early in the morning. Regulative principle. One should rise early in the morning. To do what? Take baths, enter the temple and offer prayers and chant Hare Krishna. Then collect flowers to offer to the deity. So Mangalarati is compulsory for devotees who are living in the temple. Mangalarati is compulsory. Even if we are not living in the temple, we are living in a house. Krishna consciousness is not limited to his jurisdiction, particular jurisdiction. Here it is mentioned that love of Godhead is dormant in everyone's heart, not some people, everyone's heart, everyone. That means that we all have the right to practice Krishna consciousness or to follow the process of loving Krishna. So we should rise early in the morning, wherever we are. Wherever we are, we should rise early in the morning. Take a bath, brush the teeth very nicely. Brush the teeth very nicely. Take a clean bath. Put on the clean dress. Clean dress means a dress we have never used to eat or pass water with. Fresh one, as is washed and never used to pass water or eat with. That is fresh. So we put on that and enter the temple. We should have a temple in our house. We have altar room in our house. So we go there, go to the deities and chant the Gurvastakam prayers. Chant the Gurvastakam prayers. samsara davanana didaloka tranaya karunaya bhaktasya kalyana gunarana vasya Pandiguru Shri Charanadavinda. Should chant, offering respectful obeisance to Samasa by appreciating his wonderful presence in our life by putting off the fire of material resistance. Samasa is putting off the fire of material resistance. So we should respect him and offer obeisance to him. They remain 7. So that Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura constructed 8. So he called the Gurvasakam, 8 prayers for respecting and appreciating the spiritual master for his wonderful benevolent service he's doing for us. So we should take bath, enter the temple room and offer prayers, chant Hare Krishna mantra. Then collect flowers to offer to the deity. You can make garlands, can decorate the altar. Then we cook nice food stuff to offer to the deity. After that, we should take prasad. And so on. There are various rules and regulations which one should follow, and one should constantly hear Bhagavad-gītā and Srimad Bhagavatam from pure devotees. See the way Prabhupada put it. We should hear Bhagavad-gītā and Bhagavatam from pure devotees, not from professional reciters. Pure devotees, those who have love for Kṛṣṇa in their hearts, not those who are pretenders, cheaters, but they have the ability to memorize things and simply repeat it like parrots. Parrots are very good at repeating something but never practice. They are in the Himalaya. There is a particular bird called the Burunda birds. Burunda bird. The Burunda bird lives at the Himalayas with the sages, the hermits, the yogis, the ascetics. This Burunda bird lives there. Burunda bird. The spelling is as the pronunciation. Burunda, B-U-R-U-N-D-A. Burunda bird. Burunda birds. This particular bird lives with the ascetics in the Himalayas. What does he do there? A Burunda bird hears everything, all the mantras the sages are chanting. He hears very closely, very attentively. Every day. But the Burunda bird will never practice anything. Never. But he's very attentive and he can repeat it exactly. No mixing words. That's Burunda bird. And Prabhupada is referring to devotee practicing, not Burunda bird. Burunda bird listener or speaker. To hear Bhagavatam, to hear Bhagavad-gītā from pure devotees. This practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of God, and then he is sure of his progress into the spiritual kingdom of God. This practice of Bhakti-yoga under the rules and regulations with the direction of a spiritual master, would surely bring one to the stage of God. This is the process. The regulative principles of Bhakti-yoga. The regulative principle has a potency because it is given by Kṛṣṇa, given by our acharyas, given directed here by the scripture. You should follow without deviation. And Prabhupada is certain. The Prabhupada is very certain. He's sure what he has given. That if you will follow this, if we follow these principles, chanting Hare Krishna mantras is here minimum every day on our beings. Minimum. Chanting. When the spiritual master has given us bead, he has given us Kṛṣṇa. He has given us Kṛṣṇa. The holy name is not different from Kṛṣṇa himself. They are the same. So we have been given opportunity, the connection to connect with the parampara, so we can chant the holy name. So we should understand that Guru has given us Kṛṣṇa. While we are chanting, we should be attentive, should be very careful. Should be very careful. Prabhupada said, at this time we should pronounce the word distinctly and hear it attentively. That is called japa. That is japa. Not joking around with it. Not joking around with it. Chanting the holy name is not an ordinary activity. It's not a joke. It is not a child's play. This is the sublime method for achieving the highest goal of life, the topmost jewel, and one could ever think of having. Therefore, we have to take it seriously. All the items mentioned here, they are all very potent items. And Kṛṣṇa said the regulative principles of Bhakti-yoga, they are meant for our freedom. This is how it is described in Bhagavad-gītā 2:64. 2:64. Yes. Am I correct? It's 64 or 62? Yes, 64, correct. Ragadvesha vimukhtaistu Vishayan indriyaischaran atma vashyari vidhyatma prasadam adigachati. But a person free from all attachment aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom. The regulative principles is for freedom, can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. Regulative principles of freedom. We'll do what? We'll attain the complete mercy of Kṛṣṇa. So here in this chapter, Kṛṣṇa is requesting we should follow it, because we will have complete mercy of Kṛṣṇa, complete, no reservation. And that is the end of our material existence. So we should take it seriously. We have to look at Kṛṣṇa's mercy here. But Kṛṣṇa did not say, if you don't follow this, finish, go. But Kṛṣṇa said, if you cannot do this, then follow these regulative principles. So there is a chance for everyone. There is a chance for everyone to become Kṛṣṇa conscious. This is our opportunity, and we should take full advantage of this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for enlightening again and again on the topic of regulative principle. Guru Maharaj, you mentioned like we should not minimize our japa. Devotee should not minimize our japa. We should chant it distinctly and with full attention. So there is one question in that line. So to put in practice, to always remember Kṛṣṇa and never forget him. What is a hope for grihasthas? Because grihasthas are very often in anxieties coming from anxieties coming from the husband, wife, children, neighbors, work, etc. So in such condition, how to concentrate while chanting? Please enlighten us.
Anxiety.
So the question is
for anxiety, it is for all conditioned souls, not only householders. Sannyasis have anxiety. In Kali Yuga, sannyasis in other ages, no anxiety. In other ages, no anxiety. In Kali Yuga, it's anxiety. Anxiety is there for traveling. Anxiety is there to travel. Anxiety of traveling is there. The anxiety of dealing with all the envies you get from people is there. The envy you're going to get from other people, we have to deal with that. It is there. Also, the anxiety of preaching is there. Anxiety is there. Gurus, anxiety is there from disciples. So much anxiety. Yes. For anxiety, you cannot rule it out for all the ashrams or all the varanas. All the varanas and the ashrams, the anxiety is always there. You can count all of them anxiety. Not only households. Brahmachari is anxiety. Brahmachari is when a person is not married, thinking, oh, if I could get a good wife to marry, if I can have a husband, oh, my life is very sweet. Oh, very nice. Beautiful wife, oh, handsome man, very intelligent, very sharp, he has money, has facility. Yeah, we'll drive together to the temple. But when you get the wife, when you get the husband, you don't see those things again. They will disappear. They exist only when until we get in there. When you get in there, you see that beauty, that handsome is no more there. All the beauty we were seeing before, it will disappear. All the fancies, all the fanciful things we are admiring and expecting, they will disappear. As soon as you get into there, it will disappear. Yeah, if I have many disciples, I'll be happy. I have many wealthy disciples, I'll be happy. Yes. When you get the wealthy disciple, you're not going to chant. You're going to he's not going to chant because he's very busy with so many businesses. And he's going to start to control because he has given someone. He wants to start detecting what he should do. So there's so many gurus who have that issue. I don't have it, and I will never have it because you cannot get me so easily like that. Yes. So all this anxiety, the disciple will control you, be telling you what to do. It's not that we don't take advice, but not a command, not influence, mundane influence because of your money or your position. It shouldn't come into bhakti because it is material. Yes. So variety of anxiety there for all the ashram. So what to do? It depends on how we prepare our Kṛṣṇa consciousness. How do we live our Kṛṣṇa conscious life? That depends on ourselves. Prabhupada said, we should mold our life in such a way that we remain Kṛṣṇa conscious 24 hours. That is our life. That is our duty, to mold our life in such a way that we remain Kṛṣṇa conscious. If you don't mold our lives, we complicate our lives, we will be in anxiety. We will be in anxiety because we call for it. So it is our duty to plan our life in such a way that we will be Kṛṣṇa conscious. Get up early morning to chant. If you want to get up early morning to chant, don't eat too late in the night because you have gone to a program and they want you to eat. Yes, they want you to eat. Do not eat heavy food in the night, late in the night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. A human being should not eat like, even animal doesn't eat beyond 6 o'clock. Why human beings should do that? It is inauspicious. Why should we expect not to have problem when we are calling for problem? Yes. Why should we not prepare to have a Kṛṣṇa conscious children? Why we shouldn't prepare to have Kṛṣṇa conscious? We should prepare to have Kṛṣṇa conscious children so that they will not disturb us. We have chance to chant. You see, the proper use one sentence, mold our life in such a way we remain Kṛṣṇa conscious. These are the practicals. Why we should not plan our Kṛṣṇa conscious household life. Why we should not plan it to function within Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Why do we think that our literatures are just philosophy alone? And philosophy should not be practiced. Why we should not believe like that? Why we should do like that? Everything in the scriptures should be practical. Everything should be practical. So whatever difficult or challenges we have, we should know that we call for it. And we should be ready to handle them, follow them. If you are going to have disciples, you should be prepared to have anxiety. Why not? If you are going to get married, you should know that yes, I'm going to have people because I'm taking somebody else into my life. So some difference will be there. So we should learn that. We should learn that is different and be satisfied with it. We should learn how to handle that differences. Yes, it is our responsibility to do that. So householder, you have to take out children. The child is going to cry. Yes, you have to do that. You should know that when the child gets up, you're going to disturb me. So you should get up before the child gets up to do your job. So that the time the child gets up, you have already chanted. So you can continue for the distance. Yeah? You can tie the baby on the back. In Africa, they do that. The mother, they tie the baby at the back. So you go on with your household duty. That's all. Tie the baby at the back and do your cleaning or cutting vegetable, whatever you want to do. Tie the baby at the back. So you do everything. Don't put the baby in the front. That is dangerous. That is dangerous. And if you tie baby in the front, very dangerous. If you are cooking, everything will fall on your baby's face. If it's at the back, it will fall on you, not the baby. So the baby is protected. This is common sense. But highly educated people don't have common sense because of their artificial life has taken away the intelligence. They will not reason properly. Artificial life. You take away the intelligence. You take away our sanity. So get up early. Do your job before the child gets up. Mother Yashoda taught that principle. So we should follow that. Yes, the husband is going to do nonsense. So you should learn how to tolerate the husband. Since you have accepted, you should know the kind of husband you are going to marry. You should know the kind of wife you are going to get married. You should know. If you don't know, who should know? Who should know? We should know. So we should even if the parent did arrangement by making arrangement for us to get married, then we should try to adjust to each other. It's a powerful example in our Bhagavatam. Chavani Undi is a very irritable person, very irritated sage. Did you think he's angry? But he married a wife that never complained about him for the whole life. The wife never complained about him. Even sages who are trying to become Christian complain about him. It's a nasty behavior. But the wife never complained about him for the whole duration of their marriage. Why? Because the woman took her time to study. Okay, my husband is like this. So she molded her life to fit into that system. This intelligence. This is sanity. And they were successful. She never quarreled with him, never had any issue with him. So she's better than a sage. What other sages couldn't do, she did it. Not with a grudge, but with happiness, because she studied the nature of the husband and she understood, okay, my husband is like this. So I have to adjust to that. Devahuti did that. Devahuti was a princess going to marry Hembi, the person who is wearing cow hair. They're completely opposite. In a forest, from the palace, not just the palace, the skyscraper. That is why Abu Amadu's building is a skyscraper. He took her from there to go to a jungle in the bush and he gave it. How will you feel? It's not punishment. Can you see that as a marriage? Modern ladies today, will you see that as marriage? This is slavery. This is punishment. Is he only the man in the world? But Devahuti didn't say that. Devahuti didn't say that. She removed her bangles and removed everything. She was so delicate that even people can breathe her feet. But she accepted the hardship and followed the husband. Completely unusual. But she followed that. Because of that austerity she performed, her husband practiced and became a yogi that created a mansion for her. Sayambhu Mamadu constructed a mansion with the modern materials. But Devahuti's husband created a mansion without mundane materials. With mantra. Because of the sacrifice he made, she got that. Gandhari described in Bhagavatam as sadhvi. Sadhvi, she's sadhu. But her husband is not a sadhu. Completely opposite. She knew that her husband to be is blind by birth, from birth. Spiritually, physically, mentally. And once she accepted the person, she brought herself down to the level, she blindfolded herself. That sacrifice she made her very mystically powerful. Yes. Kṛṣṇa has given us intelligence. There is a question here. We should follow the regulative principle of bhakti with intelligence. Intelligence. So there is challenges in all the ashrams. So either it is bad health, or the challenges from the mind, the challenges from the senses, challenges from the environmental, some other higher personality, the demigods. All these things are there, but it's our duty to use our Kṛṣṇa conscious principles to deal with them. Yes, I saw Marla Mataji hand is up. And Abhyāsa-Rupa, for whose hand is also up.
All right, Kṛṣṇa Maharaj, I've got two questions I was wondering about. One of them
Okay.
is, if we have an altar with pictures and Gaura-Nitāya deities on it, if we go out of town, do we just not wake the altar up that day, or do we put it to bed when we leave, or do we just leave the altar awake while we're gone 2 or 3 days? What do we do about that?
If you have a Gaura-Nitāya,
Yes, sir.
okay, and then
Pictures. I've got a picture of Radha Kṛṣṇa, and I've got actually a little Nrsimhadev statue, and
okay.
a picture of Prabhupada.
Yes, you take care of all of them. Since you have, sorry, I didn't get your question.
Okay, what happens with the altar when I go out of town? What special arrangement do I make, or just leave it?
Okay, okay. When you go to the altar, first of all, you have to start with the spiritual master. You have to wake the spiritual master. Then to Gaura-Nitāya, the Singhadev, then Kṛṣṇa. You have mantra to wake them up and to put them to sleep. There are mantras for putting them to rest and to wake them up. You have the mantras?
I don't know if I'm using the right ones. You know, I just I'll send you in a letter what I've got, and maybe if there's different ones I need, you can, you know, send me in a letter and in an email. Would that be okay?
Fine, fine. Yeah, that's all right. I'll do that.
Okay, yeah, and I'll ask you the question in email too, because it's like, you know, if I just wander off at 2 in the afternoon and I'm like gone for 2 days, I just, you know, somehow just leaving them away.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you have gone up for 2 days, you come in the afternoon. Yes, you should wake them up. Yeah, you should wake them up. And yes, put them in order because you're going to offer them something. So you wake them up. Yes, put them up nicely. Then cook something and offer to them because they have been fasting since you travel.
But when I actually leave, do I put the partition up, or do I just leave them awake with the lights on? I mean,
It's better you put them to rest when I leave. Yeah, you put them to rest. Yes.
Okay.
When you come back, then you wake them up.
Okay, so even if I'm leaving in the middle of the afternoon, put them to rest anyway, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's what I was
Yes.
wondering. Second question, very easy. You said something about clean clothing. Yeah, you said something about clean clothing, and you define clean clothing as something you haven't eaten in or something like that. I didn't get it, you know, so I always just put on freshly washed clothes in the morning, then I never wear them again after, in the evening, then I put them in the laundry, then the next day fresh clothes again. But it sounds like there's more to clean clothing, and I wasn't sure what exactly you said.
Yes,
So
I was saying that clean crops should be worn every morning, not the crop we have used eating wet or passing water wet. Yes.
So like when we eat, we should change clothes. Is that what you're saying?
No, not that. Not that if we eat, you have to change the cloth. If we don't have to change until we. Let me tell you the truth. In the proper way, is when we wear clothes. Once we remove it, we don't put it back again.
Okay.
Yes, you have to put a fresh one.
Okay.
That is the system. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Once
Thank
you
you.
remove it for bathing or whatever, you don't put back again. After bathing, refreshing, you put a fresh cloth. That is the process.
Okay.
Yes. Right. Third question.
Thank you.
All right, Kṛṣṇa. All right.
All right, Kṛṣṇa.
Abhyāsa-Rupa, who has a question?
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Please kindly accept our obeisances, Srila Gurudev. Gurudev, you mentioned that one should hear the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad-gītā from pure devotees and not from cheaters or professional reciters. So it has been observed that many devotees, they are attracted to hear from Bhagavad, those who do pravachan from other sampradayas, or which are not necessarily ISKCON devotees. So Srila Gurudev, how can we distinguish between them and pure devotees? How can we distinguish from whom to hear actually? Thank you, Srila Gurudev.
Well, the qualification is one who has love of Godhead in his heart. That is the qualification. One who has the love of Godhead. One who is not a cheater. Preaching to make money. Giving class for money. He's speaking because he has compassion for a living entity. So he's distributing Kṛṣṇa for people to become Kṛṣṇa conscious. That is the motivation. Our child, they speak because of compassion they have for us. They speak because they have love for us. They want to help us. He knows it and they want to give it to us. Not the person who is speaking for money. Not the person who is speaking for fame. They can get food to eat. Sukadeva Goswami did not speak for money. And Srila Prabhupada didn't speak for money. And devotees who are hearing from other places, they are not chaste. They are not chaste. They are spiritual prostitutes, jumping here and there. They are jumping here and there. One should look for one who is pure devotee, pure devotee. So hear from a pure devotee of Kṛṣṇa. I don't know that person who has pure love of God in the heart. I would want to know. If you yourself are a good devotee, if you are a good devotee, the communication will come very, very clear. The person may have a very beautiful way in presenting a philosophy. That is a memory work. But the truth will not come out because he doesn't have it. And a devotee who is sincere in Kṛṣṇa consciousness will detect it. Will know exactly what it is. Because it will not penetrate the heart. If you want to know a pure devotee, the speech will penetrate the heart. And it will bring a lot of purification. Yes, that is how Sutra Goswami glorifies Sukadeva Goswami. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that powerful son of yesterday, Sukadeva Goswami, who is the universal spiritual master that knows the science of entering into the heart of the audience. He can enter into the heart of the audience. How does he do that? By his words. And Parikshit Maharaj confirmed that he planted Kṛṣṇa in his heart. Sukadeva Goswami planted Kṛṣṇa in the heart of Parikshit Maharaj. Hearing him for 7 days, Kṛṣṇa became planted in the heart. Parikshit Maharaj confirmed that. He confessed that. He planted Kṛṣṇa in my heart. Therefore, I am now fearless. I'm fearless. I said pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada penetrated the heart of the audience. He was accepted and able to give up the things which were not easy to be given up. They were able to give it up easily and take to Kṛṣṇa consciousness. This is purity. Our Bhushan Shah, he described Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He gave a qualification to accept the pure devotee. He's a Muslim, not a devotee. He said, these men, they come from Bengal, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, attracting millions of people following him, even though he's not giving them money. He's not giving them anything. They naturally follow him. He must be a pure devotee. He must be Kṛṣṇa himself. Otherwise, how can he attract people like that without any material benefit? That is his purity. This is the vision of a Muslim recognizing the pure devotees. All right.
Yes, Srila Gurudev. Thank you very much for this understanding, Srila Gurudev. In line with the same question, Srila Gurudev, I would like to ask, are the pure devotees found only in ISKCON, or they are in other sampradayas also?
The pure devotee is not limited to ISKCON. Pure devotee is not limited to ISKCON. It's not limited to ISKCON. It is not. One who loves Kṛṣṇa is a pure devotee. And you can see that in the person's action. How much attachment the person has to Kṛṣṇa. And how does he look upon others? Bhagavad-gītā, Lord Kṛṣṇa said, and when you have gotten that knowledge from a pure devotee, you will never fall into illusion again. And you will see that all living entities are mine. They are mine. So a pure devotee will look at everyone as Kṛṣṇa's children. Not just philosophically, but in action. He would treat them like that, physically. It's a pure devotee. Not that one is a pure devotee and he accepts certain class of people to be children of God and others are useless. That's not the pure devotee. It is an offense for a sadhu from India to go across the ocean. It's an offense. For what? Contaminated natures. What to do there? You're going to get contaminated. So Prabhupada crossed that barrier. He crossed it, dismantled it. That is why you see the whole world is taken to Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Pure devotee. You accommodate everyone. He said, a citizen is a person who is born in that country. So animals in that country, they are also citizens. Why should we kill animals and not human beings? Of course, by killing animals, we have gradually developed to create machines, not to kill animals now, but to kill human beings. Look at the whole world. Heavy weapons are being manufactured to kill human beings. It started from killing animals. So we have progressed to killing human beings. But the pure devotee would not kill any living being, animals or humans. But he will maintain them because he sees them to be spiritual, part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. pure devotee. All right.
Thank you, Srila Gurudev. Thank you very much.
Yes, Pranahari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Danut Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
How are you, Maharaj?
Very good. And you?
I'm good, thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, one question I have, which I don't understand, is basically that I have read is that bhakti is free and independent. And
Huh?
there is bhakti is free and independent.
Yes.
And there's no fundamental of it, just like Lord Kṛṣṇa. So I want to understand exactly what is the meaning of free and independent actually.
It's free because you don't have money to purchase it.
It's true. True. That's true.
It's independent because it will not come at our own will, at our own time. It will come when Kṛṣṇa wants, not when we want. It's independent. It doesn't depend on us. It doesn't depend on anything, all of our wonderful qualities or disqualification. It does not depend on that. It depends on whom Kṛṣṇa have decided to show that.
True.
So it's independent. And it is priceless. You cannot purchase it with money. Even if you have the whole world together, put together. How can we buy, what are we going to use to buy pure love of God? What is it? Can use to pay for pure love of God? Who can pay for it?
No one.
Yes. That's what it means. Does it make sense?
Yes, Maharaj, very much. Thank you very much. Now it's very much clear. Maharaj, one more thing. Regarding this, in this particular verse, is mentioned about the senses. We should divert our senses for the bhakti. But the senses are very difficult. It's sometimes it drag you away from that process of bhakti. So how do we, engage again and again, and how do we make sure that we remain focused?
Yes. Bhagavad-gītā, the point was clearly admitted. The senses are obstinate. Obstinate.
Yes.
That's the word used. The senses, very, very stubborn. Very stubborn. Very, very stiff. Prophets use the word stringent law of nature. Stringent. Obstinate. It's the senses, the nature that we carry. So Arjuna confessed this to Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa did not say, "You rascal student, can't you just follow this simple thing?" Kṛṣṇa didn't say that. Kṛṣṇa said, "Yes, it is true, my dear friend. It is true. What you're saying, it is true. But there is a process. It's a process. The regulation. And Kṛṣṇa devotees will have difficulties because we don't know how to regulate. We don't practice regulation. From what I have seen, every Hare Krishna devotee, how do we put our fan in the room or the temple room? How do we put our fan? When you look at the fan, there is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. How do we put it from 0 to 5?
Yeah.
Is that regulation?
No.
So we do all this thing without realizing what we're doing. We're not practicing being regulated. A manufacturer did not put 0 to 5. He put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why do we go straight to 5? We don't know it's affecting us now. We're not practicing regulation. We're not practicing how to be regulated. A Kṛṣṇa devotee will tell you, can you give me 1 minute? You're going to take you 1 hour.
True.
Is it not?
True. Very true.
But we don't feel that we're doing something wrong. We're telling lie, we're cheating. Do we see ourselves as cheaters?
True. Very true.
See, all the things we are doing, it has a serious effect in our life, in our Christian consciousness. They have serious consequences. How we don't realize that we're cheating. How do we think we're going to make advancement? We're going to conquer the senses. So regulation, we have to learn how to regulate the senses. We have to learn how to regulate the senses. This is what Kṛṣṇa recommends. Detachment. The two things. Detachment. Regular practice, detachment.
Practice and regulation.
So what does it mean in practice? Okay, I have a habit. Not me, but the example. I have a habit of smoking. I've never smoked in my life since my birth. Even as a musician, I never. Kṛṣṇa protected me. I don't do these things. So it's smoking, and I want to stop it. What to do? Don't go to the place where smoking goes on. Don't go there. Detachment. Don't go there. Don't associate with people who do that. Detachment. Don't go there. This is detachment. Don't go there. Don't hear about how wonderful it is. Don't hear it. Don't go there. This is detachment. We're practicing detachment. Naturally, it will become our life. We don't have any issue with it. So if we practice withdrawing our senses from the object, how do we do that? We have to replace it with Kṛṣṇa consciousness. We'll discuss molding our life in such a way that we remain Kṛṣṇa conscious. We practice that, molding our life. This is detachment. Practice of detachment. Yes. We will not have issue. You see, when we give importance to something, that will become prominent. We'll give something important, it will become prominent. It becomes our deity as we worship. So if you start practicing, thinking how to take care of my deities, how to dress them nicely, how to make dresses for them, I can cook nicely, where can I buy such and such nice quality for stuff, I can cook like this. That is Kṛṣṇa consciousness. All right.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Very nice answer. Yeah, thank you very much for helping me. Thank you very much. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Shri Gurudev, Prabhu's and Mataji's. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Shri Gurudev, we have a few questions on the chat box. Do we have time to take them? We have 3 questions.
Okay.
Okay. So the first question is from Jayesh Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. Can you please explain the difference between getting liberated and going back to Godhead? All the soul
between
getting liberated or going back to Godhead. The difference between getting liberated and going back to Godhead. All the soul. Yes. Are the soul engaged in devotional service when they get liberated?
Liberation means many things. Not only liberation, not necessarily going back to Godhead. Liberation don't necessarily mean going back to Godhead. Going back to Godhead is different. But one can go back to Godhead after liberation. So there is different levels of liberation. If for a sick person who regain his or her health or his health, that is liberation. When you're liberated from disease, from sickness. A patient who is very poor, if you become wealthy, you're liberated from poverty. That will not take you back to wealth. Or a nursing mother, the baby is nagging, crying. When the baby sleeps, you are liberated from the anxiety, the crying of the child. One transcends the three modes of nature, they are liberated. If you transcend the three modes of nature, that's liberation. But you're not going back to God there. Because you can transcend the mode of nature as an impersonalist, merging into a majority. You're not going back to Godhead. But that's a liberation. Actual liberation is to go back to Godhead, is when one attains pure love of Godhead. So there are different levels of liberation. The word liberation does not necessarily necessitate going back from to the pure love of God. All right.
Thank you, Gurudev. And the next question is from Tulsi Turshika. Hare Krishna, Shri Gurudev, please accept my most humble obeisance to your lotus feet. Is Nam Prabhu Lord Kṛṣṇa himself or different form of Lord Kṛṣṇa?
Who?
Is Nam Prabhu Lord Kṛṣṇa himself or different form of Lord Kṛṣṇa?
He is directly Kṛṣṇa. Nam is directly Kṛṣṇa. Not different. The same. But there is difference. What's the difference? The difference is that the name is more merciful than Kṛṣṇa. Vacha, Vachika. Vacha and Vachika. It's about to not to explain. The form of the Lord and the name of the Lord, they are the same in all respects, approved in all the sastras. But the name is more merciful than Kṛṣṇa. That is the difference. Otherwise, it's the same. The same. In all respects, it's the same. But the name attained a superior position because it's more merciful. In chanting the holy name, anybody can do. But not everybody worship the deity form of Kṛṣṇa, except the pujari. If you're not a pujari, you cannot go to the altar. But you can be anybody and chant the holy name of Kṛṣṇa and attain pure love of God. All right, is it clear?
Yes, Gurudev. Thank you. And the final question is from Bhakti Pallavi. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you wholeheartedly for this very enlightening lecture. So many strong points have been discussed to strengthen and improve our sadhana bhakti. My question is, can Vaidhi sadhana bhakti help us to reach and attain Rupanuga bhakti? Is it possible by practicing struggling devotees like us to attain in this lifetime?
Yes, it is possible. That is why Srila Prabhupada constantly say, back home, back to Godhead. Back home, back to Godhead. It is possible to do that. It is possible. And sadhana bhakti, yes, sadhana bhakti, if sadhana bhakti is practiced very nicely, very seriously, we have discussed it. We have discussed it many times. Then Mauritius, we discussed it. Strong sadhana, strict sadhana, and very sincere sadhana. If you practice it this way, it will bring empowerment. When we become empowered, and empowerment means what? To be invested with extra energy by Kṛṣṇa, by the holy name, to achieve something which is beyond us. So then we can attain Raga Bhakti. And from Raga Bhakti, we go to Prema Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. From Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti has two stages, Vaidhi and Raga Bhakti. From Sadhana, we can go to Raga Bhakti. From Raga to Bhava and Prema Bhakti. All right.
Yes, Gurudev, thank you so much. Jananda Prabhu, the screen is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.